Very good morning, baie goeiemôre, Molweni Mzansi, Dumelang, Salam, Namaste. Very good to see you, and as always for the past, I think, 2 years, every single morning on a Wednesday, no matter where I am in the world, and boy have we had lives from different places on earth, but 9 o'clock every Wednesday, as long as God gives us the strength and He allows us to wake up and have another day, I am here with my family meeting of the UIM, with my State of the Nation for the week, matters that are important, but more importantly than that, the truth. Goeiemôre dames en here, baie goed om u te sien. Dit is Woensdag en elke Woensdag vir die afgelope 2 jaar het ons 'n afspraak 9 uur in die oggend met mekaar, waar ek die week vir u opsom wat verby is, waar ons kyk na waar die land se posisie is, waar ons in die politiek met u kan praat en ek vir u kan sê wat aangaan in ons land, probleme, bietjie tyd kry om my hart uit te praat met u en ook waar u vir my vrae kan vra, enige iets wat u wil weet en ek kan dit antwoord in hierdie gesprek. Daar's ook 'n paar vrae wat deur ons lede gevra is. Ek kry my e-pos en dankie vir al die e-posse. Al is daai e-pos 1 paragraafie, soos die dame van Lorraine Venter wat net gesê het, wil net vir jou sê ons is lief vir jou. Dit beteken baie. So Lorraine, baie dankie. Dit beteken baie vir my, want partymal voel dit of 'n mens nêrens kom nie. Dit voel of jy absoluut vassit in 'n gedagte dat jy dink jy's die enigste mens wat dink jy raak mal in hierdie land en dan kry jy liefde. So Lorraine, baie dankie vir al die ander mense wat vir my altyd 'n e-pos stuur of 'n boodskap. Ek waardeer dit baie. Die vraag wat u vir my gestuur het, gaan ek antwoord vandag, en as daar enigiets anderste is, op die einde van my plek sal ek dit oopmaak. Geef vir my daai vraag, enigiets wat u wil weet, anything that you would like to know. I think a leader's responsibility is not just to speak about what you feel, but it's also to translate what the people's problems are and to address those problems. I want to start off this morning by saying that you are special to me, that every single one of us in this country are actually in the same position. And today I wanted to speak, before I get to the questions from the public, I want to give you again, and this is critical, dis belangrik dat u vir my verstaan. I am about the only political leader that leads a political party that wants to really get into the community, so I look forward. As you've seen, we've started our program, ons sal weer ons program begin, we started our program to get into the towns. I am a leader that loves my community. I'm a leader that was coming from the community, and therefore I find myself at my best in my community. Ek is lief vir my mense. So it's been great to get back last week into the community where I could go to Belgravia Estate in Cape Town. I was invited to visit Mitchell's Plain Festival with the great Rosario Brown. I spent some time there. Ek het soveel samosas gekry van almal. Ek is nou heeltemal opgesamosa. And to those people that welcomed me at the festival, are members of the police, are members of the Metro Police, are members of law enforcement, EMS, emergency services, and all the staff. Thank you for making me feel special. And what a great festival. More than 15,000 people there. And Rosario and his group, well done. To all the other people, shukran. And we will do this again, inshallah. We will get there. But to meet the Mitchell's Plain people was absolutely great. I was then invited to go and speak in Plumstead. And Plumstead to me is special because when you go to Plumstead, I always go speak in the middle of Plumstead community in an open park under trees. And when I spoke there last week to about 100 people standing there of the community under trees in the park, I got a divine intervention to say that we are privileged to stand here, not in a building, not in a hall, not in a fancy hotel, maar op die park, in die gras, onder 'n boom. And that's what community building is about. Show me any other leader that does that. You see, it's not leaders that do that. It's people that love their community, and that's important. Tonight, I'm going to be in the beautiful Delft. Ek is in die Delft area vanaand, 7 uur praat ons daar in die Delft. As jy daar is, ons gaan post waar ek is. Al stem jy nie saam met ons nie, al is jy nie saam met ons nie, kom praat met ons. Because we are one community, and it is important for us to start understanding what is one community. Before I start though, I would like to recognize a great brother of mine, a mentor, a friend, a person I dearly love, and that is my brother Andre Lincoln. I'd like to put out a word of prayer, a word of love. He was admitted into a hospital facility last night, struggling with a couple of medical conditions. Andre, this is a message from all of us. We love you. I hope that you get strong. We need your leadership, your mentorship as always. So, Andre, as jy my kan hoor, as iemand hierdie boodskap deurstuur, ek sal hom sien, maar ek wou net oopmaak vanoggend om baie liefde vir Andre Lincoln te stuur. A leader, a man that served his whole life in uniform, served the police, the community, and this country. And just to General Andre Lincoln, from all of us, God se rykste seën, en mag sy hand van oorwinning oor jou toestand op hierdie oomblik verbeter. And to everybody today who have family in hospital, frail care, people of senior citizens that are taking it very hard at this moment, have a problem in health, to all of them, from the UIM, may God bless you, and may you get the strength of our Almighty God to get better and to get well. I want to talk to you today about a very important thing, 'n baie belangrike ding wat in my hart sit. The United Independent Movement was started not to have racial divide in this country. I am the founder of this party, so I can tell you why I started this political party 2 years ago. And why the group that we've got today was Jacques and Cindy. And by the way, Cindy Herbs, who is our Treasurer General, but a member of our executive, how great to see you last night per accident and bumping into you and seeing that you are well and okay. Cindy and Jacques and Stephen and Monya and everybody else, our Fatima, our Vice President, everybody else, you always get into a problem with, Kali and Eugene and Jay and everybody else, Zenda, Monya, Marlize, Almarie, al die mense wat ek noem. You are the UIM. I want to congratulate my Vice President Fatima Abdul, Monya, Zenda, and the rest of the team that last week joined the march. Not to promote or to fight COVID. Ek wil dit duidelik maak. But to fight against the oppression of a government that actually works and functions on draconian rules, the throttling of our constitution, and it seems bit by bit starting to encroach on our freedom. A democratic state is a democratic entity by the mere word of democracy, meaning giving rights to the people where the people shall govern. Ek gaan dit weer sê. Die woorde demokrasie, as jy dit gaan naslaan, beteken eintlik vryheid. 'n Demokrasie is die totale ander kant van 'n diktatorskap. 'n eenparty staat. En vandag gaan ek vir u duidelik sê, dat hierdie land, die Republiek van Suid-Afrika, raak meer en meer vir my. En ek kan met my saamstem of nie, maar ek gaan vir u sê, 'n eenparty staat. 'n eenpartystaat werk nie in 'n demokrasie nie. A one-party state is totally contrary to the understanding, the principles of democracy, because in this country, we are being sold a false democracy. Why do I say that? The political conclave of the African National Congress has no doubt run this country under the auspices of a democracy for the past 27 years. But we really have to say to each other, is it a democracy? You see, the fundamental principles of politics says that in a democracy, everybody has the right, everybody has the freedom, everybody may say what they think as long as it's not hate speech. But you have that right enshrined under the Constitution. Jy as die mense van die Republiek van Suid-Afrika het die reg tot vryheid van spraak, maar nie haatspraak nie. Frikkie, Frikadel, Malema, you really need to go back to college to go and understand, of miskien 'n bietjie terug na jou houtwerk toe, wat beteken demokrasie, jou werfetter? Because what you do, and your cabal, which is the ANC, the South African Communist Party, COSATU, and all your aligned little cabal, you stand and destroy democracy. Because in this country, the feeling that we are getting is there's only one party and whatever that party says goes. Now, in a democratic state, there's the majority. The majority rules. So is that democracy? So I find a problem when we say that we stay in a country that is a capitalistic democracy based on Christian principle, when everything that's happening in our country is contrary to that. Racism, reverse racism, BEE. What is that? That's not democracy. That's dictatorship. And I don't think that the principal founders of this country ever thought that we would become this hell that we live in today. South Africa, we've got to start realizing, I'm giving you some political education, I'm discussing politics with you, I'm new in it, I want to tell you, every single person in this country matters. You are very right, Ruth. And for everybody in this country to matter, you've got to listen to other cultures. Morning, Yvonne. Mora Letitia. I'm saying this again. We are a country that has been put together with so many diverse cultures that we need to recognize. We are not going to get away from it. Now, we can Cape exit, we can KZN exit, we can Transkei exit, we can Joburg exit, we can Noord-Kaap exit. Inteendeel, ons kan almal in ons moer vlieg. Ons kan hierdie republiek uit mekaar uitskeer. Die Afrikaner volk kan sê Vrystaat, Transvaal en 'n gedeelte van dit en 'n gedeelte van dit. Ons wil wegbreek, ons wil 'n republiek stig. Jy kan dit doen. Well, according to law, you can't. But in principle, you can. Cape Town wil wegneek. Cape Town wants to become the motherland and a republic. There's people like Cape Exit, Cape Independence, Cape. But what we don't realize is if Cape Town and the Western Cape decides to remove itself from the greater Republic of South Africa, then what stops the Zulu and the KZN people to rip Durban and Umhlanga away from us? What stops the Xhosa, the isiXhosa that stay in Transkei, now the Eastern Cape, to rip the Eastern Cape way and also and declare a republic? Mense, ons moet dink. We've got to think. Are we ready for the destruction of our country? Are we ready to take this country the United Republic of South Africa and break it up. The breaking up of this country, the fact that you want to tell me, a man born in Stellenbosch, in South Africa, on the continent of Africa, that you will deny me to be a citizen that can travel from Cape Town to Upington, from Upington to Kimberley, from Kimberley to Bloemfontein, from Bloemfontein to PE, from PE to Durban, from Durban to Ladybrand, Johannesburg. You are telling me that you will take that right away from me because this land is my land. We are past a revolution of being apart. The problem that we've got in this country is that we don't understand the other culture. We don't. Julle kan maar sê wat ons wil. Ons kulture is so ver weg van mekaar. Ons het nog nooit by mekaar gekom en verstaan wat is jou kultuur en wat is my kultuur nie. We have language barrier, we have religious barrier, we have race barrier, and we have culture barrier. Het jy my gehoor? Ons het 'n rasseverskil, ons het 'n geloofsverskil, ons het 'n kulturele verskil, en ons het 'n historiese geskiedkundige verskil. Baie verskille, né? Because us, and the Xhosa, and the Zulu, and the Bafokeng, and the Pondo, and the Khoisan, and the Griqua, and the Afrikaner nation, look how diverse. The president of this country fails because the president of this country does not realize what is happening on the ground, that we are fighting many battles and many wars. And until the leadership of this country cannot unite us, if the leadership of this country cannot stop making racial divide between Frikkie and Frikadel Malema, Cyril Ramaphosa, and everybody else that's sowing the divide between white and black and colored and Indian. The mere fact that you've got to say black and white and colored and Indian is shocking 27 years after a total agreement that we would like to start a new country. We are united in our diversity, Zenda. Eenheid in diversiteit is wat op ons landswapen staan. Ons leef dit nie. So today I want to ask, is it not time that we start showing not a culture of tolerance, but a tolerance of culture? A tolerance of culture. And that's how we will only get it right to live side by side. The day that this country's leadership gets up and puts their personal and their own wealth, hulle eie demagoetjies, hulle klein gooitjies wat op klein eilandjies bly, as hulle dit kan afstaan en hulle kom grond toe, dan sal hulle uitvind wat 'n mooi land ons het. But racial divide and keeping that alive will destroy this country. I'm preaching unity. I have no other choice. Maar dit pas nie die ander mense nie. So tolerance of culture, I would like us to start speaking about that. In ons Bybel, God se woord, in God se woord, is daar 'n stukkie wat baie belangrik is. En daai stukkie in die Bybel sê, dat net waar daar eenheid is, sal God sy genade en al sy welvaart aan ons gee. Net as daar eenheid is, sal hy sy seëning gee. In our Bible it says, God will only bless us where there's unity. Now you can say that is not true, you can say that is not what it is, but I've read it. The reason this country is going through absolute hell is because there is no unity under God. Now, that's not being a pastor, that's not being a dominee, that's not being a reverend, that's not being a Bible man, that's being a son of God. Telling you today that once this government, once this country unites, only then God will give us a blessing again. There was a time. Daar was 'n tyd wat ons saam was. But the politicians of this country, the 400 of you, sitting not in parliament because that was burned down under your watch. Your watch. You took the people's parliament and you did not protect it, en jy kan maar nou hardloop en sê wat jy wil, maar jy is skuldig. You are guilty. And this to me is absolutely sad. South Africa, we are in a failed state. Ons sit op hierdie oomblik met elke teken van 'n mislukte staat. What are the levels of me looking and saying that we are possibly failing as a state? What are the signs of a failed state? Well, here it is. I will tell you that more than half of the people of the Republic of South Africa are uneducated, if not more. A nation that is not educated is a nation that will never ever take an educated decision on their future. They will work on emotion. Now, when we march, when Fatima and her group representing the UIM joined the ACDP, marching in Pretoria to tell this government that you will not force a needle into us. It wasn't about vaccine only. It wasn't just about our rights. It was about telling this country that we live in a God-given democracy and that our body is human. Our humanity is our right, and we have the full right to protect ourselves. I want to make it clear again because there are questions. Are we vax or anti-vax? Now, we are pro-choice, but we are not going to allow a government to tell us what we put in our body. It's sacred. That body was given to us by God. And it's only, in my opinion, God that tells us what to do with our lives, our souls, our body. You can control our mind, you can control where we are, you can control us by draconian law, but you can never supersede God. Okay, there's only one president in the world that never goes to an election, that never ever puts himself on a poll, that never ever asks anybody to vote for him, and that is God. God is my president. Do we have it right? If I'm right, give me a like, give me a heart, forward this, please, because we only have one state president, and that is God, the Son, Jesus Christ, and the Holy Spirit. Dis al wat ek vir julle kan sê. Ek kan niks anders te vir julle sê. Kry daai reg, dan kry jy jou land reg. Why do I say failed state? The country's debt to the world is more than what we can pay back. That's right. My kinders en hulle geseënde kinders gaan nie hierdie kan afbetaal in hulle leeftyd nie. We will owe the world for many, many years. Our infrastructure has collapsed. Verskoon tog, ons het nie meer infrastruktuur nie. We don't have railroads, we don't have safety and security, we don't have roads, we don't have electricity, we don't have water, we don't have a running economy, we have double the petrol price than many countries on this continent, we don't have effective police management. Policing there is, but those policemen who I respect, who I love, every single day of their life, they have no leadership. So effectively, police management has collapsed. We don't even have a national commissioner at this moment. Ons sit sonder 'n nasionale polisiekommissaris. We change police commissioners. Like in a true democracy, you should be turning underpants on a healthy day every day. Ons het al meer polisiekommissarisse in hierdie land gehad as wat ek tyres op my kar het en ek spin en ry vinnig. Doesn't that make you shocked? Doesn't that make you worry? Dat jy in 'n land sit waar ons eintlik sê ons is moertoe en dan wil ons 50 miljoen rand gee aan Kiba. Maar daar's fout. Daar's definitief iets fout. So today when we sit there and we speak to each other and you want to give 50 million rand to Cuba, then I want to say to you, here's the biggest Neil de Beer weekly ice cream for dofheid. Why would you give 50 million to a foreign entity because they need aid when our people in this country can't even pay petrol? Jy's gek, man. And it shows you how divorced, how far you are from our citizens and what we believe in. So here's a couple of questions I would like to put. Hier's 'n paar vrae wat aan my gevra is. And if you've got any question for me right now, why don't you just type it, stuur dit gou vir my, dan beantwoord ek dit gou hierso. Enigiets wat jy wil vra. Anything on your heart that you want to comment and quickly ask me, I want to answer it quickly. We've got about 10 minutes that I'd like to speak to you. So, of the 411 people, goeiemôre, molweni, salam, namaste, hoe gaan dit met julle? As daar enigiets is wat julle wil weet, laat my weet. Ek sal dit gou vir julle antwoord. The first question that came from me was, what about SAA? Wat gebeur my SAL? Well, I'll tell you, utter rubbish. Utter rubbish. And this is a fact. Listen to this. The South African government gave 10 billion rand, bailout to SAA to get their house in order. And then they're selling SAA to a new consortium, 51% of SAA, that we, the taxpayer, gave 10 billion. And the latest statistic is they say the new consortium will eventually be able to raise 3 billion rand effectively to take over SAA. Where's the other 7 billion? Jy sien, ons almal het tog die wysheid om te tel. We are 7 billion short. What that means is that we've effectively sold and are selling a state asset that we've been funding for years with billions of our tax money for a quarter of the price. Dink julle ons kan nie tel nie? How do you effectively tell us, the shareholders of SAA? You are not the shareholder, Mr. President. You are not the shareholder, Mr. Minister. You are not the shareholder, members of the cabinet. We are. Don't you get it? There's no government money. It's our money. Meneer die president, hoor my, dis nie jou geld nie. It's not government, dis nie staat se geld nie. Dit is my geld. Dit is ons geld. Waar die hel kom jy daaraan om ons geld aan mekaar in die water in te moer? Jy het geen reg nie. Want jy skryf sommer 7 biljoen af. What moron are you? We need that money. Julle moes SAL 10 jaar gelede gesink het. But because it is a money-making, tender-dripping, hyena-kled op 'n klein bokkie, wat jy jou pens dik wil eet, wat julle aangaan om biljoene in vliegtuie in te donder en nou verkoop julle dit vir 'n pot lensiesop. Sis, skande. And no one in that parliament has the righteous and the flirtatious guts, tennisballe, om op te staan en hierdie ding te beklei. All that you do as an opposition party is you bloody stand up and say point of order. Sis, I can tell you now, in 2024, when the UIM, the United Independent Movement, enters the halls of Parliament, and by God, hopefully that building will be fixed. Hoor my vandag, julle gaan op julle moer kry. Want as julle dink, hierdie klein jelly tots met rooi klein flankeerde pakkies kan 'n mok maak. Wag vir Neil de Beer. Ek maak klaar 'n mok. We are not going to settle for this. En as jy dink jy gaan dit regkry om met waterbottels en met helmets ons te intimideer, hoor my mooi. Ons val nie daarvoor nie. Okay? You're a commander-in-chief of absolutely, soos jy sê, fokol. 'n President wat opstaan in die parlement en sê, hy veer fokol. Dis wat hy gesê het, nie ek nie. Dames en here, nie ek nie. The state president said, I fear fokol. En toe sê hy, nie, hy het 'n fout gemaak. Hy het eintlik bedoel niks. Dan kom ek sê gou vir jou, meneer die president, the fact that you fear nothing, not even God, is shocking. The fact that you don't fear the citizens of this country and our democratic right to remove you shows you your arrogance. Nou 'n goeie vriend van my het gesê, die dag wat jy iemand ontmoet wat dom is, astrant is en arrogant, DAA, daar. Dom, astrant en arrogant, kan jy nie met so 'n persoon werk nie. Jy kan nie met die DAA werk nie. Because you are dumb, stupid, you are arrogant, and you are ignorant. Dis waar. So, Mr. President, by you getting up and say you fear fokol, means that nothing in this country can actually guide you in telling you where you are wrong. Sad, eh? You fear fokol. I hope that you remember that. Ek hoop jy onthou dit. Want as jy so kan begin praat in 'n parlement en 'n grappie maak, then you must understand that you have lost total touch with the people of this country. Nou kom jy gisteraand op jou televisie and you want to call it my fellow, ek was sommer kots, my fellow citizens. Really? People asked me, why did I not make a human rights speech on Human Rights Day? Because normally I speak on every great occasion. I purposefully told my executive, I'm not going to speak on Human Rights Day. Because there is none. There is no human rights. Maar die DA en die Vryheidsfront plus en minus en die PA en die DA en almal van hulle maak massiewe statements of human rights. What a lot of toss. Okay. I boycotted Human Rights Day because there is no human rights in a republic where people die and people get murdered. In the past week in the Western Cape, we had more than 32 murders. In 3 dae, 32 moorde. Net in die Kaap. Nou sê mense, maar ons moet Kaap toe trek, want die Kaap is veilig, en die Kaap is dit, en die Kaap is die moederstad. Hulle moor ons hierso, hoor. Sommer 6 doodgeskiet in 'n ry in Khayelitsha. 8 doodgeskiet in Menenberg. 4 doodgeskiet in die Helderberg. En dan Robertson. Dan gaan ons Robertson toe, en dan brand die strate van Robertson. And people get killed and maimed in a small little town in the Western Cape. It's a failed state. Now we go and we say we don't have to wear masks in public, but we must wear masks inside. But social distancing, the restriction still on outward and inward amounts is still there. So effectively, Mr. President, your big news last night was, I don't have to wear my mask outside. Whoopee. We've not been wearing it in any case. So what's next? But you're punting vaccine, eh? You're punting it. It's like that last bit, jy weet, as I ek weet nie of ons gekyk het, hierdie devil's eggs, hierdie eiers wat jy met die mayonnaise, en dan sê, dit is, maar ongelukkig kry jy dit net by begrafnisse, en lyk my net by sekere divorce settlements en troues, né? Hierdie eier, waar they call it devil's eggs, met die mayonnaise en die eier binne, en dan eet jy hom nou ek weet, dit is een van my favorites, né? Hierdie eiers, met die mayonnaise en die eier binne. En nou is daar 6 van julle by hierdie byeenkoms, en daar's 1 eier oor. Wie kry die eier? Nou kyk, sekere mense raak sommer onbeskof, hulle stamp jou die pad uit vir daai eier. Dit is hoe ek voel oor die vaksin. Jy sien nou, daar's 1 eier oor, nou wil jy dit gryp, want jy wil jou laaste stukkie, wil jy inkry. It's like fighting over a last devil's egg. Our eyes are open. A couple of weeks ago, because of the Ukraine-Russia conflict, we were told that fuel, petrol, is now going to skyrocket because the oil price in the world, because of massive fighting and massive pressure, has to go up. Correct. So we watched barrels of oil go up, and obviously opportunity of the SA government, daar gaan petrol ook op, daar gaan diesel op, né? That's an opportunity. This morning I woke up, like I always do, pray to God, and then I read all the news. For an hour I update myself so that when we talk, I know what I'm talking about. Fuel's coming down. The oil price is going down. Mr. President, hey. Mr. President, are you there? Cyril, jy daar? Please lower the petrol price. Lower the petrol price. Oil is going down. Here's another question. We are about 8 Rand to 6 Rand more expensive than any other neighboring country in petrol. What are you doing? Not once did you get up and your genius of a cabinet and say this is how you are going to block with extra subsidy, maybe the 50 million that you gave Cuba. This is how you're going to buffer the normal citizen from that hike in petrol price. Maar jy's te dom. You couldn't do it. Not 1 minute did your cabinet, that probably sits in a cabinet, because we don't see some of them, like Pravin Gordhan. Mr. Gordhan, is jy agter 'n gordyn, Mr. Gordhan? Want dit lyk my jy kruip weg agter 'n gordyn. You see, Mr. Gordhan, Mr. Gordyn, under you, every SOE in this country failed. But you're still a bloody cabinet minister. Kom agter uit die Gordhan uit, man. Ons wil jou sien. Ons wil jou neek. Ons wil jou fire. maar jy word beskerm, terwyl ons land drakonies uitmekaar uitval. Why are you penalizing the normal citizen by hiking fuel levies when you know that you are 8 rand over your own levy, and that 8 rand or that 6 rand extra on our fuel is tax that you put, it seems, in your pocket? Well, that's what the Zondo Commission said. Question to me on the Zondo Commission: 1.1 billion rand spent on trying to find people that stole $1 billion. So we spent $1 billion to find $1 billion. No one's gone to jail. If so, where are they? So we've now appointed another committee to find out if the commission found them right, and how do we implement what the commissioner said in 3 volumes of books of paper, naming names, and some of them in cabinet. See, Domi, this is not democracy. Electricity. Ons weet, daar's nie leierskap nie. There's no Eskom. En meneer De Ruyter kan nou aangaan, en De Ruyter in swart, en De Ruyter in wit, en De Ruyter in geel. De Ruyter, you're fighting a losing battle, my brother. Because we've lost it. How do we know? Promise on promise by president to say we will never have load shedding again. Ligte af, kersies aan. And this country accepts it? Have you not noticed this country? We just accept it. Ons kom by die huis, ligte af, Weber. Jy my gehoor? Dis wat ons doen. We walk into our houses after earning our keep, fighting our work, putting bread on the table, and then you put our lights off. We don't complain. Ons sug, ons raak kwaad. And then we fuel our generators with a fuel price that's twice as high as what it should be. En dan sê ons net vir ons vrou Bokkie, kom ons braai. We are being conditioned to accept it. Wear a mask, we wear a mask. Get vaccine, we take vaccine. 22 rand for petrol, we put in the petrol. Pay taxes, we pay taxes. Rates and taxes, we pay rates and taxes. Potholes, so big that you can fit in a Land Cruiser. But we pay rates and taxes. You know why? Disciplined country. Godly country. Luister na die Bybel waar hy sê met die koning om toegee. Really? Really? Ons is blind. The king of this country is naked. We are standing next to streets, we let the king walk past, and we all say what beautiful clothes he's wearing. But he's naked, and we accept it. I get email on email on email from people all over this country telling me we don't have water, we don't have electricity. Kan jy Pietermaritzburg toe kom? Kan jy Suidkus toe kom? Kan jy Pretoria toe kom? Kan jy Welkom toe kom? They want the UIM there. Why do you think people call us in Vanderbijl Park and say we don't want the DA, we don't want the PA, we don't want the Freedom Front? We want the UIM. I'll tell you why. We care. Because we are not politicians. We are not. The United Independent Movement consists out of people like you. I'm a citizen. I'm not a politician. But I decided a year ago with all my people, including you, that we will fight. We'll fight at the ballot box. We will fight in the street to keep our country safe. And what happened? We didn't do well. Why did we not do well? Because people voted like sheep. Now I want to ask you a question. Go to Bloemfontein. Gaan 'n bietjie soontoe. You can change the names to Mangaung and Kabega and Koko and Kunu and Kaka. Maar ek gaan vir jou sê, gemors bly gemors. You can change the city's name, you can change the boards, you can do whatever. Maar as daar gemors is in jou kabinet, as daar gemors is in jou munisipaliteit, as daar geen leierskap is nie, then there will be no water, there will be no electricity, there will be no roads, there will be no sanitizer, there will be nothing, because you continually vote for these idiots. Daar's hy, klaar. En ek het vir julle gesê, I told you, in Welkom, Mpumalanga, Kriel, Van der Byl, Sandton, Kabega, and Phoenix, I told you, the day that you are going to vote in the same people, you're going to get the same. And you bloody went and voted them in again. En nou sit jy 4 maande na hierdie mooi posters en die loutere klomp moer gemors, wat hulle gesê het, the city works for you, we'll do this better, maar jy het nie water in jou krane nie. Maar jy het hulle ingestem. You voted them back in again. Why? Mense raak rooi in jou gesig, jou hart raak op, want jy's lief vir jou land. You love your country. You're a patriot. But you keep on putting in the rubbish. Hulle verkoop gemors. Nee man. Yes, Kevin. A t-shirt, a cap in Kentucky. That is what your soul is worth. It's time for an effective leadership in this country. It's time to make a change, South Africa. Maar jy sit, en as ons vra, kan julle ons help, kan julle ons asseblief ondersteun, ons het geld nodig, ons moet 'n campaign run, ons moet uitkom, maar julle gee honderde duisende rande aan die ander politieke partye, en hulle doen niks, man. Help ons. I'm frustrated. Ons kry nie 10 rand by die mense. Ons wil op 'n toer gaan, sodat ons dorp vir dorp met die volk kan kom praat. Maar ons kry nie donasies nie. Maar julle gee die DA der miljoene. Die PA millions. Maar die UIM, that is you, the UIM that goes and stands under trees, stands at night with people that have lost family. Ons doen dit. Why are you not helping us? Ons moet smeek. Dames en heren, ons kry nie eens 30 rand nie. Maar checks van 300.000, die ander dag, gestuur deur 'n besigheidsman aan 'n politieke party, en 3 dae daarna bel hy ons om hom te kom help. What is that? Nee man, 'n mens raak gatvol. Nou ek weet geld is min. But don't you get that we have also left our jobs? Put our life at risk? Go and fight out there? If you don't and cannot do that, then please, I'm asking you today, financially help us. We're doing golf days, Koeksisters verkope, ons probeer lidmaatskap optel, sodat iemand soos ek, wat nie bang is nie, nee regtig, ek is nie bang nie, maar ek buig my knie voor God. Maar ons kry nie hulp nie. Maar die Bybel sê vir my, Ek slaan my oë op na die berge. Waar kom my hulp vandaan? Nou Suid-Afrika vandag. Ons vra jou man. If we don't dig deep and if we don't get us, the people that are the normal people that are now entering the halls of politics to fight for you, if we don't get it done, dis nag in 2024. En ek weet meer as wat jy weet. Dis nag. Die blanke gemeenskap in hierdie land moet wakker word. Julle is die minderheid. Did you hear me? The white population of this republic, you are now the minority. Wake up. With an effective party, a leader that won't stand up for your right, your time to exist, not be the minority, but be a democratic say, it's the UIM, but you're sitting and you're waiting for another savior. It's not coming. Because they've been running you for 27 years. And what? You've got nothing. Dololo. Niks. Zero. Zilch. Maar jy moer aan. Ek raak kwaad. Because I'm fighting for you. Maar jy sal liewerste 'n bottel brandewyn van R350 gaan koop. En jy sal ons nie help nie, want jy sê ons is maar net die ander. You are wrong. Just making these statements is already important and puts my life at peril. I have made my decision that I will fight for each and every one of you. You bloody must help us now. Because we are struggling. I'm asking you, I've got to take 5 people on a town-for-town tour. Dit kos geld, mense. Maar om hierdie woord te versprei, om hierdie ideologie uit te kry, om die mense se kappe van hulle oë af te haal, moet ek in 'n stadsaal gaan staan. Ek moet in 'n klubhuis gaan staan. Ek moet in 'n kerksaal gaan staan, maar ek het julle help nodig. I need you. Because no one else is going to bloody do it. Because they publicly said they fear Fokol. Hy het dit in die parlement gesê. The colored people, the white people, and the Indian people in that classification have no more say in this country's politics because we have been reduced to that. How's hy? Ons stel nie meer nie. Hear that? Reality. Stel nie meer nie. Jy kan maar maak en breek wat jy wil, jy kan maar toesprake gaan maak, jy kan maar mense gaan werf, jy kan maar opstaan, maar die blanke kleerling en Indiër in hierdie land, jou toekoms is verneder. Want ons het nie leierskap nie. Ek gaan hierdie airplane nou land. Hoor my? Skryf dit neer, forward hierdie email, we are going to do a TikTok on this, hear my words. The minorities of the colored population, the white population, and the Indian population of this country, you have no more rights in this country. And then you want me to go and say on Human Rights Day that we are happy. What about the human rights of those children, those mothers, those brothers, those dads that have been slaughtered? Nog 'n boer dood, né? Another farm murder. Not white murder. Don't make this racial. This is not race. This is a human. Van die 18-jarige seentjie wat doodgeskiet is in Menenberg op 'n hoekstraat. En 'n boer wat wreedaardig gemartel en gemoor is. Daar's een ding wat ons twee bymekaar bring. En dit is die dood. Wanneer gaan dit eindig? You want to talk about another question? Foreigners. Nou ek is al 66 keer gesê ek is Donald Trump. Nee, I'm not the Donald Trump of South Africa. I am the Neil de Beer of the Republic. I'm not going to build a wall. I'm not going to... What I'm going to do is when we become president, when I take over with my cabinet, with you, this republic in 2024, and even if we get in with 20, 10, 30 seats, hear me well, we are going to disrupt, not destruct. Every person in this country that is not here legally, you are going to leave. That's the law, sir. There's no debate. Hoor julle my? Is the law. Nou sit en debatteer julle oor menseregte en die regte. Luister gou vir my. As jy in hierdie land is en jy het nie 'n lisensie nie, jy moet skoot. Jy moet weg. It's simple. But Mr. Minister, you are too late. You should have bloody stopped them at the border. Nou wil jy kom met jou klein karretjies deur die Kaap en Johannesburg deur moer en mense se dokumente kyk. You should have checked it at the border, sir. Want hulle swem langs die grenspos oor. So, here's a surprise scenario. Hier's 'n oplossing. Stop them at the border. Put the army there. But first retrain them. Shut the border down. Shut it. En as jy nie kan nie, ek ken 'n paar mense. Ons kan nogal patrollie stap. Oh, you didn't know that you have to block the border. Block it. Shut it down. Take 50 million rand instead of giving it to Cuba and pay people to be trained to protect our borders, because if you protect our borders, maybe that's a bloody good start. Maar nou kom neek julle hier in ons dorpe rond en julle wil nou illegal immigrants arresteer. Hulle is by die grens en hulle loop net oor. En ek hoor, hulle betaal sommer mense in uniform om deur te kom. Stop corruption, stop the people coming through the border. South Africa first. Hoor my, SA eerste. You've got to become a patriot. And in conclusion of this discussion, julle moet begin nasie trots kry. Nasie trots hang nie af van 'n man wat sit en niks vir ons doen nie. Nasie trots begin hier in jou hart. Nation's pride is an internal thing. It's a patriotic thing. Die hel met die politici. Hulle is nie ons trots nie. My geboortereg, my reg as 'n man wat in hierdie land gebore is op godsgrond. Dis my trots. Jy kan nie my trots wegvat nie. Ek is 'n Suid-Afrikaner, gebore, getoe, geskool. Ons moet terugkom. Ons moet terugkom en ons moet ons land regmaak. South Africa first. God number one. Did you get it? South Africa first, but God number one. Remember the 5 C's, ne? Remember the 5C principle of the UIM. Christ. But in the recognition of Christ, we recognize the other religions in respect. Because if you don't respect another culture, if you don't respect another religion, if you don't respect another human being, then you are also functioning against God's word. En jy kan maar stry soos jy wil. We are a united, independent republic with a diversity of race and culture, and we love each other. But we are not finding that in our leadership. Dames en here, South Africans and family of the UIM, you must help us now. My email address is Neil, that's right, my email that you can write me on. I can't respond immediately, but I do. I take a day, like today, I'm responding to you. Neil, N-E-I-L, and I see my great man Steve Spencer is here. Cherise is here, my girl. Can you please do me a favor, just post this address, N-E-I-L, Neil, at uimsa.org. Skryf vir my. If you can't get hold of me, then you can get hold of info, I-N-F-O, info, at uimsa.org. Write to us. South Africa, we've got to go on an end April South African tour. We need to raise roughly 35 to 40,000 rand. Myself, my Vice President Fatima Abdul, our National Youth Leader Kurt van Heerden, and our SG, Jock, we need to go on a 6-town tour. If there's anybody that can financially contribute, because we have to get our vehicles, we've got to get our fuel, we've got to get our food, we've got to get our accommodation, we would like and please ask you for our first town-for-town tour. We need you to donate. Last year, we raised tens of thousands of rands in our local government campaign. And to you, thank you very much. Thank you very much. You put us in council. But now we need you. South Africa, we have 18 months left. If you take away the December and January's, because nothing happens, and if you take that in 2024, the 6 months prior to July 2024, when elections take place, you can write off those times. We have 18 months left. Did you get that? 18 months before we go and elect a new government, a new president, and a new ruling party. What are we going to do? Are we just going to sit back? Are we going to allow the people that currently did what they did to us? Are we going to allow that? The UIM have just brought you the truth. We've given you nothing else. I want you to forward. I want you to like. I want you to please promote this video so that we can get up. Rudy, that's correct. 150 rand from everybody. If 420 of you that are currently on here just gives us 150 rand, we have covered our first quarterly tour. The banking details are at the bottom of the screen. Be a patriot today and help us. Help us to get to you. You might not always agree on what I say. Julle stem nie miskien altyd saam met my nie. Maar dit gaan nie meer oor die verlede nie. Dit gaan nou oor ons. Let's rise. Let's be that phoenix. Let's rise from this ashes and take this government to task. And then show them the fear of God. Because that is where we need to go. May I thank you for being with me today. Mag ek vir u sê baie dankie vir die tyd wat u altyd vir my gee. Hierdie 450 mense wat elke keer opkom, ons moet dit meer maak. If you look at our page that you are on now, please like, please follow, please promote. On another page that was hacked and deleted by people that fought against us, we lost a page that had more than 80,000 people on it. This page is stuck on 19,000. We need to get back to 100,000. Please help us. Mag die Here se godslikse rykste seën oor hierdie land wees vandag. May God bless you. May He give you abundance. May you look after your family. May the rest of this Wednesday bring you a process of thought. Gedagte dat ons kan regkom eerbiediglik as 'n land. May the rest of the week also be blessed, and thank you always and every day for giving me your time, giving me your love, and giving me your respect. Respect is earned, it is not demanded. Leadership is chosen by the people, not by themselves. And it is a privilege to be here with you. Great day. Baie lief vir julle. God bless you. Send us those donations. Send us those emails. Send us those questions. We need you behind us. Lekker dag. Peace. God bless.